you may have to swallow your pride to do these things. A lot of us are very prideful, right? We don't want people to know a lot of the situations that we're going through, a lot of the things that we encounter as human beings in our life. And in asking people for help, sometimes we find it a bit difficult because we'll have to let people into our situations and into our business and be honest about it, right? But that's a part of the process, and that's a part of what God wants us to do, or what we need to do, not even what God wants us to do, a part of what we have to do in order to be obedient, right, and step out on faith. And I think once we do that, once we obey those two principles, we're able to defy logic, right? Because the things that we're going to be asked to do, or the instructions that we're going to be given, sometimes aren't going to make sense, right? Like, for example, Moses, right? When Moses was leading the children of Israel out of Egypt into the wilderness, and the Egyptians were chasing them, trying to capture them and bring them back into Egypt. They was running away from Egypt and came to the point where they were in the front of the Red Sea. Didn't have any way around the Red Sea. They didn't have a boat. They didn't have anything that could, move them through the water. And we're talking about like millions of people at this point, right? And Moses was like, God, you brought us to this point. I'm going to look to you to get us out of like this situation. And, God asked him, like, what do you have? That was the question that he asked. And Moses was like, well, all I have is a staff in my hand. And God was like, okay, use that, right? Extend the staff up. Once he did it, the water, we all know the story. We've heard the story before. The sea parted, and the children of Israel were able to walk through the Red Sea, right? God is able to use everything that we have to perform things that we can't even fathom, right? It defies logic. It goes against everything that we know, right? Even David, for example, David knew that all he had was a slingshot. I just got this sling. I got these little pebbles, but I'm encountered with this large giant who wants to hurt my people, the people that I love and that I've grown to live around, up until this point in my life. And God was able to use what he had, right? Because he was obedient and he had faith. And I think that's how we're going to get through these many situations in our life, right? Regardless of what it is, man. You have to be able to ask yourself, what do I have? And be conscious about asking yourself that. Be intentional about asking yourself that. And be aware of everything that you have, not just your physical possessions, but those intangibles as well, right? The individuals that are around you, the access that you have to resources that are around you, and everything that's there that could be there to assist you in getting out of that position.